This is a jig. These two I made myself. This one I borrowed from a friend who had me over to discuss woodworking and learn a little bit of turning. This is a fingerboard for your table saw. It is magnetic. It has 3 3/4 inch rare earth magnets, so it suctions it to your table saw. These holes are filled with hot melt glue and then shaved off flush with a hot knife. The melted hot melt glue in the drill holes holds this flat on the table from moving. If I didn't put those on there, the magnetics would just pivot on the wood because there's no grippage in the bottom of the wood.
Oh yeah.
So this goes on your, oh, that's not magnetic, but it would be magnetic, stuck to your table, and you would set it up so you would have the finger closest to your saw blade, and then that would hold pressure on your wood as you're sawing it like a fingerboard, so your hand or your fingers are never close to the saw blade.
What are the fingers made out of?
These fingers are made out of, you know when you buy a brand new TV and you get that plastic sheet that's right over the LCD screen with the little, it's got the foam padding on top, but it has this plastic protective sheet over the screen. That is the plastic barrier that comes in the box when you buy a brand new TV. I cut it into strips, and it is very flexible, so as the wood passes here, it flexes and holds pressure of the wood on the blade, so you never have to have your hands or a jig or a feather fingerboard close to the saw blade with a potential chance of getting a kickback or throwing that fingerboard at you. So I made several of them. I borrowed my buddy's jig to make several. I made one for myself, one for my stepdad, one for a friend, and this one I'm going to donate to the club. So yeah, they are 7/8 cups, which you can get from Lee Valley, and then the 3/4 inch rare earth magnet just sits right inside that cup. Don't put it in the cup until you're for sure that's where it's going to go and you have the proper depth, because once that magnet's in that cup, it's not coming out, especially if it's in there. My buddy said he was thinking of making a notch across the cup here. So later on down the road, if he ever wanted to pry that magnet out, he could. But I thought of it as scrap wood, scrap garbage, a couple scrap screws lying around the house. The only cost to me was the cups and the magnets and the glue from the dollar store. So I mean the total cost for me to make 5 of these was $13.50 for the magnets, 75 cents each roughly for the cups, or $1 or something for the cups. So about 20, we'll say 20 bucks total to make all 5.
What's the TV cost?
Yeah. The commercial version of this sells for $60. If you were to buy this at Lee Valley or Woodchuckers, well, Lee Valley it'd be $60. Woodchuckers would be $120. But that's not here nor there. But yeah, total cost is under 20 bucks for 5 of them.
Okay. If you drill a hole in the bottom of the magnetic cup, it came straight up to the top.
You don't pop it
And
out.
just left it open, you'd be able to push the magnet out then, wouldn't you? Good.
But I have this screw right here that's countersunk in the cup. That holds the cup in the wood. If I did it with a punch-out hole, I would have to epoxy the cup and then have the magnet free floating, hopefully not get epoxied in there, and then bang it out. It might be a little more work, or you might over-epoxy and have it all solidified anyway.
If you drill a hole right through, that's the diameter of the root of the screw, your screw will hold it. And when you take the screw out, you can then put a pin in there to drive it.
But I have to take that, you see that?
Magnet goes on top.
Once that magnet's in there, it covers the screw. I can't get that magnet out of there to take the screw out. And if I had a hole straight through, I would have nothing to hold the screw in place. I could do that, but for the cost of it, I mean, I'll just make another one. I got lots of wood weight lying around, scraps lying around. So, and even if it lasts a month, it doesn't owe me anything because it was so cheap.
Can you split it and use the magnet again?
Pardon?
Once it's done?
I could take a sledgehammer to it and reuse the cup and magnet if I wanted to, yeah, sure.
Yeah, chisel it out.
Yep. So, this one's the
Very good.
so I'll throw magnets in it.
Nice. Thanks, Kate.
No problem.
Tips and jigs.
Kate,
And
you want to pass that around?
Yeah. Both around. They were just scrap pieces of wood I had lying around. I glued them together. The handle I did on the bandsaw. So that's about it. Thanks.
Very good.
Anyone have any tips?
I wasn't going to do this, but I was going to do the next game. I got these, John. There. No, there. I got these jigs from Arizona last spring. The company that distributes them doesn't ship to Canada. So I had to have it shipped to my sister-in-law in Arizona, and then she came back to Canada and she brought them with her. And what they're for is for sharpening your, setting up your jig for your, sharpening your gouges. And it comes in a set of 5 for the different angles. And if you catch that, okay? It works with the jig that we use. It works with the jig we use downstairs for sharpening our gouges. And what it does is it sets it up for your angles. So your angles are always consistent, depending on the angle you want to put your gouge at. Half the middle.
Half the middle of the picture.
Very nice.
Now,
How much is a set?
they are $10 US for each piece, but Andy and I figured it out. He copied it on his CNC machine, and he's making sets out of wood, which he will sell to the club members for $2.50 for each one of these, or a set of 5 for $12.
I'm in.
Now, these are for wooden ones. What we were talking, him and I were talking about this week was, he's going to get a price if he can make them out of acrylic.
Yeah.
3/16 acrylic.
Yeah, even better.
Buy the sheets of.
Yeah, he was trying to get a price from his supplier, and they haven't got back to him yet. So it'll be more than the wood, but
Yeah.
we're going to keep it as cheap as we possibly can.
Yeah.
for Ellsworth?
No.
No,
For a number of,
it'll do any of your gouges.
just gives you the
It
range.
gives you the angle.
So it tells you 45, 35.
Oh, I see, okay.
So you just set your angle.
Okay, got it.
50, 60. But it's nice because you can do your gouges on for your Ellsworth.
I promise, we're talking about our budget for this year. We will hang this thing from up top in the next little while, I promise. It won't be an issue.
But it will also set your angles if you have the grinder pad.
Tool rest.
Pardon? Tool rest. Tool rest. Just so it flips over, and the 60 for the one this way, you flip over for the tool rest, and it'll also, and what you do is you just put the 2 points up against your 8-inch wheel.
Yeah.
Now, we were worried that he wouldn't be 100% accurate on all 3 points, but I checked them with the metal ones, and he's got them right on. So, he's going to find out what it costs to have it made out of acrylic, and then we'll make an option to the club members whether they want them out of the 1/8-inch wood or out of acrylic. Okay?
Andy and Dale will be in the parking lot afterwards.
Yeah.
Selling them out of that and
I've used these, yes.
Can they work with 6-inch wheels?
Pardon me?
You said 8-inch wheels, will they work with 6-inch wheels?
It's made for an 8-inch wheel. I did see on the internet just recently, there was a drawing that you can make these jigs with a 6-inch wheel, but it's just a matter of drawing it. So right now these are made up for an 8-inch wheel. Okay? So we will make them available to the club members. Rather than pay $10 US for each one, so it's $50 US.
Plus shipping.
Plus shipping, yeah. To ship
Brokerage, gas.
from Arizona by mail would have cost me $28 because they're made out of steel. Right?
Any other question in the back?
I had the same question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're just gonna have to buy an 8-inch grinder.
So it's the Andy. It's not this Andy. It's the Andy at the back that's making them. Pardon me?
Very good.
I'm going to suggest this. If you want to build picture frames, I would suggest you build yourself a sled like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Secret right there. Yeah. As long as that, you see that piece of plywood or whatever wood it is, it's probably plywood, with the toggle clamps on it. As long as that corner where they meet is 90 degrees, and you cut one angle on one side and one on the other, then you should, things should work out good for you.
Can you email that out to us?
I'll scan it.
It's on the Woodsmith, Woodsmith? Yeah, it's Woodsmith tips. You can, I just downloaded that off the computer. It's available for.
I can scan it, then like if that's okay, then I can
Yeah.
send it out to everyone on the.
Yeah, sure.
The guy, Howard was,
Yeah. Howard.
he used to, he had a sled and explained how to do it.
Yeah,
Really good.
Howard had a jig for everything.
Yeah.
Covered his scratch walls with them.